and also an in-service example from the German Luftwaffe. But here we see it demonstrated in the flying program by its manufacturer, that being Airbus Defence and Space. The aircraft comes to us from their plant and factory airfield at Seville in Spain. It is the Airbus A400M. Very smartly into the air, a 70-degree turn after takeoff. And all the while in this display, we're seeing maneuvering of some tactical relevance, because a steep turn like that from takeoff would be used on some tactical missions, and there'll be more in a similar vein throughout this display.
Yeah, in a way, this aircraft reminds me of the display of the Vulcan. A huge aircraft like this, but being thrown through its paces like it was a fast jet aircraft.
The French Air Force was the first to bring the A400M into service in 2013. It's now also in use with the RAF, the German Luftwaffe, Royal Malaysian Air Force, Spanish Air Force and Turkish Air Force. 46 of these aircraft have now been delivered to the customer nations, and the global fleet of A400Ms has amassed in the region of 16,000 flight hours. And indeed, the French have used their A400Ms to support operations in Mali, including flying off dirt strips. Turkey has employed them in Afghanistan, and they've used its capability to carry helicopters in the cargo hold. On one occasion, a pair of Bell UH-1 Hueys, on another, a Sikorsky Black Hawk. Germany has used one of its A400Ms to carry out an international aid mission to Senegal. The typical payload in the region of 20 tons. The A400M has an operating range of about 3,450 nautical miles. In the basic configuration, there's room inside for 66 standard-sized stretchers and 25 medical personnel if flying a medical evacuation mission. As far as cargo loads are concerned, it can take a single load of up to 16 tons or a mixture of loads totaling 25 tons. It really is highly versatile.
I think this display has been beautifully put together to show off the tactical capabilities of the aircraft. Not just the short takeoff and landing capability, but the slow speed flight ability that you see now, and also the capability of very minimum radius turns, which will give any fighter aircraft really big problems of getting some form of weapon solution, especially when it's coupled with the self-defense suite, very capable self-defense suite that this aircraft has.
And that slow-speed flying very useful for another of the A400M's roles, which is as an air-to-air refueling tanker, able to top up everything from helicopters to other large aircraft and fighters.
But for a large aircraft like this to be maneuverable, it doesn't start with the aircraft getting airborne. It starts years before, during the design phase. And today we will see the aircraft with an angle of bank around about 120 degrees. And to put that into perspective, a similarly large aircraft, such as the Boeing 737 or 747, is limited to an angle of bank of 30 degrees with the autopilot in, and just 60 degrees angle of bank without the autopilot. This aircraft is virtually carefree handling.
That comes in large part from its fly-by-wire controls. There's the steep pull-up. And there's the wing over that we've seen so many times over the years.
Fantastic.
Brilliant. And again, tactical relevance to that, a pull-up from low level into a steep wing over and then a return to low level in theatres where there's the threat from man pads and small arms fire and the like.
Yeah, absolutely. This aircraft has just gone through 180 degrees within the space of about 1,500 feet. That is true tactical capability.
This superb display being flown by an all-British flight crew on the flight deck, Anthony Flynn and Jonathan Taylor, both ex-Royal Air Force pilots, both graduates of the Empire Test Pilot School at Boscombe Down. And we're going to see a short tactical landing also from the A400M. I'm sure you will have got some good photographs of it during this display, and that may be beneficial to you because an A400M photo competition is underway, organised by Airbus. The best photo you take of an A400M between now and the 24th of November wins an all-expenses-paid trip to Airbus in Seville. And Riat a very good chance this weekend to get a potentially winning shot. It's open to amateurs and professionals alike. Details at www.a400m-photocompetition.com.
And for those lucky enough to be near the front, this is going to be a very impressive demonstration. Maximum thrust reverse, spoilers, and very, very powerful wheel brakes will be able to stop this aircraft well inside 1,500 feet.
And as it reverses, we can see the rear ramp being opened on the runway.
Yeah, I need to remember that pilots can't actually see where they're going, so the loadmaster down the back is actually guiding the pilots by looking out in the direction the aircraft is traveling.
And I expect it'll be turning off the runway in well, I was going to say fairly short order, but it looks like it's going to be a taxi pass down to the intersection after the one in the middle. A brilliant demonstration by Anthony Flynn and Jonathan Taylor of Airbus Defence and Space on the Airbus A400M. But now it's time for the next of the Royal Air Force items, and also to hand you over to its commentator, Master Aircrew Sotty Sutherland.
Thank you. Good morning, Riat. Got a couple of minute breaks now before our aircraft joins us from the B-axis, which starts at 12 o'clock from the crowd centre.